Hello everyone, welcome back for another edition of Let's Play. Ooh, well, shows how much I do Let's Play videos. Welcome back for another reading of The Legend of Zelda: Hyrule Historia. And yes, I'm sure you noticed I'm wearing the same shirt as the last episode, because I'm doing this directly after the last episode, in recording-wise. My camera has been turned on twice in a row. And I did this because I just want to keep reading. I have a lot of time on my hands right now. There's a snowstorm going on outside, and I love Zelda. Just before this, I was watching Donna Bell's entire reading of the Ben Drowned creepypasta, which is a very good one. If you're not really into creepypastas and you're easily scared, I wouldn't recommend it. But it's surrounded around Majora's Mask, and it's a very creative creepypasta. And Donna Bell's did a great job remaking it. So we are starting the second branch of the three branches in the timeline: the Twilight Realm and the Legacy of the Hero. So the Hero of Time was victorious, successfully sealing away Ganon. Link returned to his original time and met with Princess Zelda, setting a new timeline into motion. An alternate history of Hyrule. We are now in the era of the Hero of Time Child Era, and the game surrounding it, Ocarina of Time. The return of the Hero of Time. Princess Zelda used her power to rewind 7 years that Link had spent sleeping, and restored the hero to his original era. Upon his return, Link wasted no time in making for Hyrule Castle courtyard. There he found Princess Zelda watching Ganondorf, just as she'd been when they first met. The Hero's Returns. The Hero's Return. Link finds himself back in the Temple of Time. The Master Sword has not yet been drawn from its pedestal, and the way to the Sacred Realm has yet to be opened. His companion Navi disappears into the heavens, and Link steps into a new timeline. The Triforce of Courage. Link bears the proof of his courage on the back of his hand. Because Ganondorf was sealed away along with the Triforce of Power, the rest of the Triforce remains within the Chosen Ones, which is Link, Ganondorf, and Zelda. A Portent of the Future. Link warned Princess Zelda of the future would bring. Hearing his words, Princess Zelda entrusted the Ocarina of Time to Link and instructed him to travel far away in order to prevent Ganondorf from entering the Sacred Realm. Wow, just then the mark of the Triforce of Courage on the back of Link's hand began to glow. Link, the hero who had won his battle against great evil in the world of the future, left on a secret journey. So that's why he went to Terra. They said it was because he was searching for... I thought it was because they were searching for Navi. That's what they always said. It's weird. That's what everyone always used to say. Oh well, what are you gonna do? I always liked that storyline, the boy lost Navi. But I guess Majora's Mask does have to make sense in the timeline. That's something I did kind of ignore. I never really thought of that. It's like, shouldn't it be important to the story? But what are you gonna do? Link's departure. Link set off on his horse Epona, who lived at Lon Lon Ranch. Months passed as he wandered in search of his companion, Navi, eventually losing himself in a mysterious forest. Oh, he did lose Navi, okay. It just so happened that this forest led to a parallel world known as Termina. So he did lose Navi, okay. That gives me happiness again. The world that ends in 3 days. Termina was in trouble. The moon was plummeting towards the earth, and in 3 days' time, the world would be destroyed. A young imp known as Skull Kid had snatched Majora's Mask from a traveling mask salesman. With the aid of the mask's terrible power, his actions had gone beyond the scope of mischief, and the effects of his pranks could be felt all over Termina. The imp's trickery didn't stop there. He also snatched Epona and the Ocarina of Time from Link, transforming the hero into a Deku scrub. Termina, a strange parallel world where many of the inhabitants look identical to the people of Hyrule. Majora's Mask, a sinister mask that was used for incantations long ago. A new ally. After regaining possession of the Ocarina of Time, Link was able to return to his original form using a mask. However, The happy mask salesman entreated him to recover Majora's Mask. Together with Tattle, who was worried sick about Skull Kid, Link decided to put the end to the imp's excessive meddling. Tattle the fairy. A fairy who, together with her brother, Tattletale, get it? Makes mischief with Skull Kid. She is left behind by the imp while trying to escape from Link, and essentially she joins forces with the hero. So yeah, that's I'm learning some new stuff here. That's good. There's a theory I hope they answer about Happy Mask in this book that I really like. They say the Happy Mask Salesman is a spirit. He's not alive. He's dead, and he's just a guide to Link. And I always liked that idea. And I mentioned before about Majora, how she might be part of the Dark Realm, or the Twilight Realm in this branch of the timeline. Oh well, what do you do? The four regions Termina. Termina is dominated by four regions, to the north, south, east, and west, with Clocktown's clock tower at its center. The regions consist of the swampland of Woodfall, the mountains of Snowhead, the oceans of the Great Bay, and the Canyon of Icana. The Kingdom of Icana is in ruins, but the other regions are governed by the people who inhabit them. Maybe this book will also explain something, because in the final temple in Icana, there's statues in front that I never noticed until I saw Chugo Conway's Let's Play, because he pointed them out. If you look at them, they're these little creatures, and they're licking the back of the Triforce, pretty much showing disrespect to it. Maybe it'll explain it here, because I always wanted to know about the Clock Town, an atmosphere of unrest. Link first found himself at a place called Clock Town, 3 days before the local carnival. The town was thrown into chaos when the moon began to fall. The shadow of the lunar body grew bigger and bigger with each passing day. Using the Ocarina of Time, Link was able to rewind the passage of time to 3 days before the moon fell. He collected a number of mysterious masks and righted the unusual changes that had taken place in the world, reviving the legendary giants that slept the four regions of the land. The mysterious masks. The masks which hold the spirits of the dead cause the wearer to transform into the shape resembling the departed. Link uses the masks to undergo transformations, gaining powers not native to his human form. Link's transformation into a Deku Scrub is caused by the spirit of a member of the Deku tribe that died in the forest connecting Hyrule and Termina. Huh. By the spirit of a member of the Deku tribe. Huh. So it wasn't the butler's son? It should have been. Probably is, I don't know. Who knows? The four giant masks and Majora's Mask. The day of destiny had arrived. The four giants stretched out their arms and held up the moon, stopping it from plunging into the town. However, the mastermind behind these events was none other than Majora's Mask. Link pursued the mask to the center of the moon. There, a strange battle unfolded. Link transformed into the fierce deity and eradicated the threat. Majora's Mask was then returned to the Happy Mask Salesman, and terror was caused by the falling moon no longer held the world in its grip. As night fell on the third day, Clock Town was safe. Link watched the happy citizens enjoying the carnival of time. The hero took his leave of Termina, and the whereabouts after that are unknown. The legendary giants. Skull Kid's friends are guardian deities that inhabit each region of Termina. Though they depart to the four corners of the earth to fulfill their purpose, Skull Kid feels they have abandoned him, and goes on a rampage with the power of Majora's Mask. Clocktown and the Mayor's Household. Clocktown, seated at the heart of Termina, has a giant clock tower at its center. The yearly carnival brings visitors from all over. The household of the mayor includes a son named Cafe, who soon marry a woman named Anju. However, Cafe has been transformed into a child by Skull Kid. Don't worry, it gets worked out when you beat the game. Steam era, but now the game revolving is Twilight Princess, the first Wii/GameCube title. I believe it's also the first Zelda title to be released for 2 different consoles at the same time. Because remember, there was a GameCube remake of Ocarina of Time, and now there is a 3DS remake of Ocarina of Time. Soon there will be a Wii U HD remake of Wind Waker, and Nintendo has said something about a Majora's Mask remake, but they don't know if no one knows yet if they're going to the 3DS or the Wii U. The demon thief Ganondorf is executed. Dark clouds menace Hyrule. In Hyrule, Princess Zelda was informed of what would happen in the future by Link, the hero of time. She realized that leaving Ganondorf to his own devices would cause the downfall of her kingdom. Many years later, Ganondorf, the infamous demon thief who wielded the power of magic, was finally to be executed. Wow. The demon thief Ganondorf. The Ganondorf of this timeline is able to wield magic due to the possession of the Triforce of Power. However, since Link was able to warn Princess Zelda of the future, Ganondorf did not enter the Sacred Realm or lay his hands on the completed Triforce. Link, returning from the future bearing the Triforce of Courage, made it so Ganondorf was unable to consolidate the omnipotent power of the Triforce within himself. Okay, so that's how, because Link in Twilight Princess is said to be the same Link as in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, so I was curious about that. So now it's explained a little better to me. The Arbiter's Grounds and the Mirror of Twilight. The ancient sages performed the execution of Ganondorf in the Arbiter's Grounds. However, Ganondorf, who had been chosen by the Triforce of Power, did not perish and managed to kill one of the sages. Thrown into a panic, the remainder of the sages used the Mirror of Twilight to banish Ganondorf to the Twilight Realm. There, they were then instructed by the gods to protect the mirror. The sages. Details regarding the sages who exist in this era are largely unknown, including their names. From the crests depicted on their clothing, we are certain that the sages represent light, force, fire, water, shadow, and spirit, like an Ocarina of Time. Ganondorf's malice. Ganondorf is full of wickedness and hatred. Ganondorf and his malice sent to the Twilight Realm plunged the shadowy domain into madness. The history of the Twilight Realm. Long, long ago, the people of the world were filled with piety, and the land knew many years of peace. Before long, however, the conflict began to arise in the sacred realm called Hyrule. People began to appear who were proficient with magic, and they attempted to control the sacred realm with their powers. The gods dispatched 4 light spirits who sealed their usurpers' magic into fused shadows. They then banished the offenders to the Twilight Realm using the Mirror of Light, so that they would never be able to return to the Light Worlds. Those who lived in Twilight became known as Twilight. And that's where one of the main characters named Midna comes from. And wow, that's heavy. This is definitely a darker game than the others. Twilight Princess is following Majora's Mask's darker image because it's supposed to be part of it's supposed to represent the storyline of the Twilight Realm. So, you know how it is. You know how it is. Okay, we're now in the Twilight era. Let me see if we didn't change it before that. No, good, we didn't. The Twilight era game Twilight Princess. The invasion of Shadow and the Twilight Realm. Ganondorf's power to darkness. Ganondorf was sent to the Twilight Realm. There, the Demon King granted the ambitious Zant magical powers and began plotting to unite the Light World and the Twilight Realm into a single realm known as the Dark World. Zant's influence steadily increased. Clouds of darkness covered the Twilight Realm, and the Twilight began transforming into demons. Midna, the Twilight Princess, attempted to oppose him, but was cursed and fled into the Light World. Midna, Princess of the Twilight Realm, a curse placed upon her by Zant, caused her to physically transform and lose her magical abilities. In the Light World, she appears as a shadow. The Twilight Realm. Also known as the Twilight, humans who enter the domain are transformed into spirits. though they do not realize what has happened. Yeah, it's kind of one of those one of those ignorance is bliss kind of things. I've always every time when I played Twilight Princess, I thought that it's like, wow, you know what? They're not even aware of what's happening to them. It's like nothing's happening. I mean, could they just live there? Of course, that's not good. It's not good for people to just live in ignorance like that, because it will destroy them eventually. The King of Twilight, Zant, invades the Light World. The peace that had reigned in the Light World for hundreds of years was broken by Zant's army of shadowy beasts. Zant, now known as the King of Twilight, launched an invasion of Hyrule, and Princess Zelda was forced with a decision. Would she allow the kingdom to be destroyed to the fires of war, or would she surrender and allow Hyrule to fall under the domain of Twilight? The princess chose the latter. Wow, oh, that's tough, you know. Leaders have to make tough decisions. That's how it is. Across the land, the light spirits lost their light to the twilight. The light world was gradually transformed into twilight, and the people, not realizing what was happening, were filled with a shadowy fear. The light spirits. These spirits, who once sealed away the twilight, now guard the different regions of Hyrule. Their names are Ordona, Faron, Eldin, and Lanayru. A couple of them share a few names there. People of the Twilight Realm. The Twilight Realm is a beautiful place enveloped in a calm of a falling dusk, and inhabitants are gentle, pure-hearted creatures who make their homes within the realm's radiance. The Twilight wield the power of magic, though its strength does not reach the levels possessed by those who were sealed away in ancient times. Members of the powerful royal family chose one among themselves to inherit the position of leader. The people of Twilight lived in peace for many years, but there were those among them who felt the denizens of the Light World were opposing them. Despite Zant's ambitions, he was not allowed to be king, and Princess Midna instead became leader of their people. Midna and Link meet. Midna began search for a way to oppose Zant. Just then, a human who had been transformed to a beast by the twilight, it has been none other than Link, a young man from Ordon Village whose veins flowed with the blood of the hero of time. According to a legend passed down in the twilight, the savior of the world would appear in the form of a beast. Midna decided to join Link and defeat Zant and take back the Twilight Realm. Link, a young goat herd who makes his home in Ordon Village. He possesses the qualities of the hero and remains a beast in the twilight, without being transformed into a spirit, because he's the chosen one. I think it's interesting how in this timeline, when he's transformed into the Twilight Realm, he's a wolf, this dangerous-looking wolf, but he's a pink bunny in the Dark World. I wonder if that represents the victory and defeat. I think it does. I think when Link defeated Ganondorf, going to the Twilight Realm made him a big mighty beast. And then being lost in the other timeline, when he went to the Dark World, became this cowardly, this weak-looking little bunny that couldn't defend himself. So yeah, it was pretty cool. A few shadows and light spirits. Link looked at the role of the hero, restoring light to each region of the land and finally regaining his human form. With the help of Link, Midna began to collect a few shadows. However, she was attacked by Zant, who stole the shadows and left her on the brink of death. Suffering from grave wounds, Link was also cursed by Zant and turned into a beast once more. The hero met with Princess Zelda of Hyrule Castle, who advised him to obtain the Master Sword. The princess then poured all her power into Midna, saving her life. Link acquired the Master Sword from the Sacred Grove, and his curse was lifted by the sword's ability to dispel magic. Wow. The Fused Shadow, an ancient magical object that was sealed away by the light spirits. Midna, the Twilight Princess, wears one piece of the helmet, and while the remaining 3 shards are hidden in temples. Oh, that's cool. Ordon Village and its citizens. The lush hamlet of Ordon Village is located to the south of Faron Woods. in the province of Ordona. The inhabitants live in harmony with nature, raising animals such as mountain goats and harvesting crops, including pumpkins. Link sets out to save the village children following their abductions by Zant. Repairing the Mirrors of Twilight. Link and Midna at last arrived before the Mirror of Twilight, the entrance to the Twilight Realm. Midna became furious when she learned that Zant had broken the mirror, and that everything that had been happened was a result of Ganondorf's banishment to the Twilight Realm. The two set out to collect the shards of the Mirror of Twilight. Their journey saw them travel not only across the great span of Hyrule, but also to the illusionary city in the sky. They succeeded in repairing the mirror and traveling to the Twilight Realm and defeat Zant. The Mirror of Twilight. The mirror placed by Arbiter's grounds is the only means of connecting the Twilight Realm and the Light World. Only the ruler of the Twilight can cause the world to vanish. Again, we have a mirror from Twilight to Light World. Same thing in the other timeline with Dark World and Light World. It's interesting. The City in the Sky. A city in the heavens where an ancient civilization, the Uka, flourishes. The city was maintained friendly relations with the royal family of Hyrule. Even today, the folklorist Impaz was inherited the roles of the guide, lending her wisdom to emissaries bound for the heavens. Its relation to the Sky Era city of Skyloft is unknown. Ah, okay, so they do hint at you that it might be related to Skyloft? I would think so, definitely. The Twilight Realm. This realm has been covered in the darkness by the powers of Zant and Ganondorf, and the Twilight have been changed into demonic forms. The usurper King Zant waits in the Palace of Twilight. The light liberated from the Twilight Realm came to rest within Link's sword, driving back Zant's power of the darkness. Even the guardian deity of the Twilight Realm came to recognize him as a hero. Link confronted Zant in the Palace of Twilight. Midna regained the few shadow from Zant and destroyed him with Twilight's ancient powers. The map and the writing system of the Twilight Era. Hyrule Castle, located in the Lanayru province, sits at the heart of the world. The provinces known as Lanayru, Faron, Eldin, and Ordona bear the same names as they did in the era of the goddess Hylia. They are protected by the light spirits who share their names. As their figure depicts, the writing system corresponds to the English alphabet, making it possible to decipher. Interesting. Interesting. Hyrule Castle is shrouded in mid-twilight. Zant's defeat did not mark the end of Link's struggles. The King of Darkness yet remained. He who had used Zant to extend the domain of Twilight and gain control of Hyrule, Link, with the help of the Resistance, advanced on Hyrule Castle, which is enshrouded in twilight. Ganondorf is fully resurrected. Ganondorf, King of Darkness, who had been resurrected in the Light World, remains seated on the throne of Hyrule Castle. He launched his attack by taking possession of Princess Zelda and transforming into a demonic beast. He later waged a battle with Link on horseback. Once Zelda's spirit, which remained inside Midna, was returned to her body, she defended Link using the light arrows. At one point, there was any form of magic later. There was no magic in Twilight Princess, which is weird for a Zelda 3D game. There isn't any, to my knowledge, yet. I haven't gone through Skyward Sword much yet, but I'm pretty sure there's no magic in that one either. There was going to be magic. In the beta games of Twilight Princess, there was going to be, there's a magic mirror scene, but they got rid of it. I mean, you can't have magic in all the games, you know? The Resistance, an organization that uses Telma's Bar in Hyrule Castle Town as a base for its maneuvers. The members are currently investigating the unusual phenomena that have been occurring all across the world. Telma is impressed by Link's skills and invites him to join the group. Traces of the era of the Hero of Time. The Goron tribe and the Zora tribe continue to be prosperous during this era. The Korkiri tribe does not make an appearance. All that remains of them is their tribe symbol in the Forest Temple. The Temple of Time, home to the Master Sword's pedestal, has rotted away and lies in ruins within the forest. Poor, poor dudes. But yeah, you know. That explains why the Gorons didn't want a lot of humans in. Because they were doing well, you know. What are you gonna do? Princess Zelda's resurrection and Ganondorf's suppression. Ganondorf took up the blade that had been used by the sages in his own execution and commenced the final battle. However, Link was successful in defeating him. Ganondorf, the King of Darkness, had lost, and the crest of the Triforce of Power faded from the back of his hand. A curtain fell on the destiny of the demonic thief, Ganondorf, Seeker of the Triforce, at least for a time. However, the invasion by the Twilight had produced much hostility, and the existence of the counterpart world to Hyrule had been exposed. The events of this time left behind a lingering scar whose effects would be felt in future eras. The Triforce of Power. The power that dwells within Ganondorf. He loses the battle, the crest disappears. Oh, that's the thing with Link. It is difficult to kill Ganondorf because he wields part of the Triforce. If he is ever killed, the Triforce goes away out of the Chosen Ones and then becomes an item once again. Princess Midna restored her to her true form in the Twilight Realm. Once again, the curse has been lifted. Midna regained her true form, that was of a bewitching princess. She then returned to the Twilight Realm, smashing the Mirror of Twilight so that her world would never intersect with the Light World again. Her final request was that the denizens of the Light World would not forget that there was another world within its shadows. Link returned the Master Sword to the forest and went back to Ordon Village. The world received the blessings of the gods once more, and the land was covered in light, in its true form. The curse that was wrought by the power of the darkness is lifted, and the defeat of Ganondorf. Link, the descendants. Oh, okay, he's a descendant. He's not the same, but it's basically it's clearly a direct link to Ocarina of Time. I thought, oh, yeah, someone did tell me that before I read this book, so if I tell you I heard, it's just I heard about it. I don't know if it's true or not. Okay. When Link steps into the twilight, the crest of the Triforce of Courage on the back of his hand begins to glow, and he is transformed into into a beast. When he regains his human form, he finds himself wearing the green garb of the hero. The spirit of Link's ancestor, the hero of time, teaches him his secrets. Oh, wow! So, in the game, for those who don't know, you find secret glowing wolf guys who teach you different sword mechanics, and wow, that is the hero of time in armor. That's supposed to be the hero of time teaching him. So that is Link's ancestor, the hero of time, teaches him his secrets. Ever since returning to the child era, the swordsman has laminated the fact that he was not remembered as a hero. This is the reason he passes down the proof of his courage and the secret techniques to the Link of this era, addressing him as son. Wow, that explains a lot. That's amazing. But that's something I never even expected to learn. I guess he went on to being a knight, and that explains the armor. And yeah, that also explains why they never mentioned the hero of time in this timeline. In the other timeline, they do mention the hero of time a lot. But what are you going to do? Okay, guys, at the end of the Twilight era, the next era we're going to look at the Shadow era. And it starts with Four Swords Adventures again. Again? The trap lurking in Link's shadow. Let me see something. Let's see. Four Swords Adventures. Oh, we never read. Oh, we read Four Swords. Okay. I see. Right. I'm thinking Four Swords. I always get Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures confused. Remember, Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures are two different games. It's important to remember. So yeah, we're going to continue off with that. And thank you all for reading. As always, it's a lot of fun doing this. And I'll see you next time when we continue with the rest of the second of the Twilight Realm and the Legacy of the Hero timeline arch. Yeah. Alright. Things are looking good, people. We're gonna end. After this, there's only one more Triforce branch to go. And then we're going to look at a lot of cool concept art. So you're starting seeing more inside this book again. I apologize I haven't been showing you much of the artwork anymore, but they're just pretty much screenshots of the game, and they don't really help. They don't really they aren't really all that interesting. But this is cool. They got a lot of. I'm not reading any. Don't worry, I'm not reading any of the text. I'm gonna read this along with you. I'm just looking ahead to look at some concept art, what some characters are originally gonna look like. Yeah, this is really cool looking. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It goes through every book. Alright, and then there's a final letter. Yeah, see you later.